Well, thank you. I would like to thank the senator from Hawaii. This is such an incredibly important issue, and it's an honor to see my colleague as well from North Dakota. This is a great example of an incredibly important issue that's a bipartisan issue, and unfortunately, human trafficking, sex trafficking, this is something that impacts everyone. And this is something that the women of the Senate have been very focused on, but it crosses all party lines, and we want to work together to end this modern-day slavery, which unfortunately, the funding for this is really supporting criminal syndicates and so many other crimes. It's also supporting terrorism. And so working together, we hope to make meaningful progress to end the slavery that is happening for too many young people in this country who are vulnerable. But let's make no mistakes, this happens in every single community in this country. I had the opportunity to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee, along with Senators Mikulski, Collins, and Gillibrand last week, regarding the importance of legislation to fight sex trafficking and ensure, most of all, that we understand that the victims of these horrific, horrific crimes need our support. We need to ensure that we can get them back on their feet, help them get the support that they need, and make sure that they can lead productive lives, and hold the traffickers accountable. And those who are participating in trafficking need to understand that we are going to work together to ensure that you're held fully accountable and that the victims don't get blamed for these crimes. The committee and the Judiciary Committee heard from experts who are dedicated to changing lives and helping victims. Their work is incredibly important. In my state, the New Hampshire Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence, which I had the privilege of working with as Attorney General, has done some tremendous work in supporting victims and also bringing attention to trafficking in New Hampshire and across this country. What we know is that sex trafficking is something that is devastating, and this is something we need to work on. Local, state, and federal agencies working together to prevent trafficking, to provide support for those who are vulnerable in the community and are often targeted, whether they're runaways or people who are homeless, but also there are people that come from communities where they're not homeless that are targeted, children and women, also boys who are targeted for trafficking. Last week, I was encouraged to see that the Senate Judiciary Committee passed two bipartisan pieces of legislation that I was honored to be a co-sponsor of, Senator Cornyn's Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act and Senator Klobuchar's Stop Exploitation Through Trafficking Act. I'm pleased to be a co-sponsor. I can't wait for these bills to come to the floor, and I hope our leadership makes this a priority because this is such a strong bipartisan issue. Also last week, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee passed Senator Corker's End Modern Slavery Initiative Act, which aims to eliminate modern slavery throughout the world. Because modern slavery is totally unacceptable in this day and age that people are trafficked the way that they are. But again, to mention, modern slavery is being used to support terrorism. It is being used to endanger the world as well, and so we have to work to end it. I also recently helped reintroduce the bipartisan Runaway and Homeless Youth and Trafficking Prevention Act, which helps prevent sex trafficking, and this has been a very useful program in the state of New Hampshire. So, Mr. President, I see my colleague here from North Dakota. I know she shares with me, having been an Attorney General of her state, that we understand these are horrible crimes that happen in every single community, from my home state of New Hampshire to her home state of North Dakota. And we're going to work together to make sure that we can end human trafficking, we can hold those accountable who are traffickers, and most of all, we can support the victims of these horrible crimes. So with that, I would like to turn the floor over to the senator from North Dakota.